Good morning, fellow traders. It's Black Coffee Trader. It is Monday, July the 7th. Back at it after the July 4th weekend. A little bit sunburnt, but we are here and ready to rumble. So let's go. Crazy July 4th weekend. What did we see over the last several days in the markets? We saw the NASDAQ push to all-time highs. We saw the ES push to all-time highs, and at least for the short term here, kind of hold that level. A couple of key things that it looks like we are definitely holding those all-time highs, or that range, that area, if you will. Case in point, look at right here. We have this flip going on in the NASDAQ, which I really like. Back here from the last week of June, early July, we had these highs coming in right here around the 22,910s, 911s, and we have flipped that. Obviously, we had the big spike up on Thursday to the all-time highs, and we came right back down to this level. So this is very heavy resistance turned to very good, strong support right now, and we're holding above that. As long as we stay above this, I think we're definitely looking for longs. And matter of fact, on the NASDAQ itself, I'm not really looking to short until we fall down below this 22,780 area, possibly the 22,800s here, but we really need to see a tumble down below into these levels before I really start to look strongly for shorts. There could be a short opportunity here, but again, that is one that you might want to take here on the 900s. But by and large, we're looking for longs unless we see a big flip on this market. Now, we could, in my opinion, we could see a correction down to these lows coming in here around the 22,600s, 595s, and really down to this 20 SMA. We are really quite expanded away from the daily 20 SMA. That's this purple dotted line here. So seeing a correction to that level, if you look at the daily chart here, the 20 SMA, and we have really expanded heavily away from that. And so seeing a correction back towards that would definitely still be bullish and not something to be alarmed about. So if we get a big red day or two, it's just a matter of correcting probably. So if that happens, don't freak out and think that, hey, the sky's falling, game over, the bears are in control. So I think big picture this morning, I'm not sure what to expect this week. We have a pretty light week as far as news goes. There's really nothing on the docket except on Wednesday at 2 o'clock we have FOMC minutes. I think there's some dependency on what rate cuts, if we get a rate cut here or not. I think that's something that people have been talking about that more and more, that maybe we get 2 or 3 rate cuts this year now. So with the change in some of the events going on economically. Also on Thursday, we have unemployment claims at 8:30, but that is pretty much it. 2 red folder events this week. Wednesday, 2 p.m., we have FOMC, which is always a big deal. And then you have Thursday morning pre-market, you have the unemployment claims. So pretty light week. So we'll see. We'll see how this thing holds. And so far, I really like the NASDAQ. I really like this hold above this 912, and that's probably the biggest watch for me today. Does this continue to hold? Do we get a pullback to this level here around the open, and do we push higher? Some of these not intraday, but these levels that I've charted here since Thursday are very much subject to change. You've got a little bit of a, support turn to resistance as we flipped here around the 800s, or the 23,000s, I should say. You've got a little bit of a hold here and kind of a flip here going on around the 22,975. So that's a little bit of a watch. This one is the big one right here around the 910s, 22,910s. Obviously, that's the one I really want to be looking for and watching for. Does that previous resistance and turn to support, does that stay? Could also put a level here around the kind of what I have deemed as the overnight lows, which is really the lows since Thursday. I'm basically looking at the Thursday's high and Thursday's low, and then the after hours. I'm basically calling anything from Thursday at market open in the evening until this morning, and really just because July 4th was such a low volume. So that's really where that's at, and I'm not putting a lot of stock into the low of day. I typically put a lot of emphasis into the low of day, the prior low of day, the PDL, if you will. But because of the low volume and just kind of this expanded range, trading range here, I've got it charted from Thursday, but we're not going to put a lot of stock into it. We need to see today develop before we kind of reset those expectations on low of days. So big watch on the NASDAQ is this 22,914. That's the biggest watch for me today. We'll see if that comes into play or not. Moving to the ES. ES is very similar to the NAS. Obviously, we've nicely made nice all-time highs here again, and we're holding above that. It's not quite as consistent, I think, or not quite as clear, or maybe clear is not the right word, but I just think this on the NASDAQ is such a beautiful, easy to see technical level here around the 915, 29,915s. Just such a clear and easy to read level. And it's not quite as clean and clear on the ES. However, ES is still very strong, very bullish. I think the hold that I'm looking for is this one right here around the 6270s. If we stay above the 6270s, we're obviously looking to take longs. If we fall below that, then we're looking to take shorts. So that's kind of my line in the sand on the ES today. And you have a bit of a level holding here, or a bit of a resistance play here. Solid resistance turned to support, and we have stayed strong above that. So that's very bullish as long as we stay above that. Again, likewise, the highs and lows. The blue line is my low of day, the PDL, prior day low. Purple is the prior day high. Not putting a lot of emphasis into that because of the short hours on Thursday, and then we have the Friday, Sunday session. So these levels here, again, like on the NASDAQ, are very much subject to change and probably will change by the time I do my next daily trade plan. So keep that in perspective. Longs, we're looking for longs if we get a pullback. I really like this level down here around the 6292s. If we get a pullback here, that's been a nice little hold since last night. If we get a hold there, that could be set up a really nice long. And also, if we get a pullback into this area right here around the 6270s, that would be something I'd be looking to long off of as well. If we fall below then probably looking for shorts. And again, not really looking to short anything up here until we fall below this 6270 area on ES. Moving to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones, interesting. We've had obviously the nice spike up. This trade that I was looking for at the end of last week, the 44,660s, that is still in play. That's why this green line is bright green. That is a trade that I am still looking for. I still think that could happen. I think that could set up. I think that could be a really bullish play, and probably a pretty big play. Where I'm getting that is this previous resistance back from October of 2024. We turned that into support. We've dipped below it here. We reheld it as support. We fell below it, and now we're back above it. If that can stay, then we look to take a pretty nice shot at a long trade and hopefully get some life out of that. I did take this trade on Wednesday, I think it was. Took that trade on Wednesday. Really didn't do anything. We just kind of went sideways. Did make a little bit of money, but not much there. So I think, possibly we get a pullback to that area and we look to take a long and we get some juice out of it. So that's the big watch for me. Anything above this area, not really looking to short right now. Really looking to see if that comes into play. I do like this long right here. We have a flip from a support turn to resistance. Not quite as clean here, but around the 44,955s. That could be a nice pullback long here this morning. So we'll see if that turns up. On the Russell, similar. We had a nice little spike. This was the news on Thursday morning pre-market, and then Thursday we kind of went sideways, and then we've kind of went really, kind of lost some steam, and then continued to go sideways after the fact. On Thursday, areas I'm looking for here is this Friday high. Last Friday's that would actually be. Is it Friday's high? This is the high from. Let me think. This is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. It looks like this would be the Tuesday high if I'm correct. But anyway, this area right here is one that I'll be looking at, the 2238s, 2240s. If we get a pullback there, that could set up a nice long. Also like this area right here. And this is kind of a, after Thursday, we have a little bit of a flip going on here at the 2256s. We have fallen below that. We are still holding below that. And if we get something above that, that could be a really nice break and retest long. If we get a flip above that level, that would be a pretty nice long potentially. So again, over here, I'm not really looking on the Russell, not really looking to short until we get down below these highs coming in right here. One thing as well on the Russell, we have the daily 200 moving average sitting right here below price. So as long as we stay above the daily 200, I think that's very strong, very bullish. So if you look at the moving averages on the Dow Jones, I think we are quite a bit above. Yes, we've got the daily 200 and the daily 20 sitting down here, so that's pretty bullish. And all of the daily moving averages across the NASDAQ, ES, Dow Jones, and Russell, your main indexes here are definitely showing bullish signs. The Russell here, you're above this daily 200, the daily 20 sitting here below price. So something to keep in perspective. But again, I think big picture, even on any of these markets, getting a bigger, deeper pullback down towards the daily 20 range is something to be expected, and something that we will probably see in the relatively near term future. That could be, it could happen within the next couple of days. It could be another week or so, but don't be surprised to see a pullback to this daily 20 as that continues to fuel this market higher across, any of these, no matter if it's the NASDAQ, ES, or Dow Jones, Russell. So again, big watch for me today is this 22,912 on the NASDAQ. I really like that potential trade if that sets up. ES, not really looking for anything specific. This one would probably be the best one, the 2270. There's a couple of trades within this range that could set up and be nice. Dow Jones, again, we're looking for this big one here around the 44,660s, one that we've been watching for a few days. On the Russell, nothing is really jumping out at me, really just more of an opportunistic setup if something occurs there, possibly around this 2240, but again, that's going to have to be in line with some of the other market movement as well. So that's the game plan for this morning. I will not have a trade plan for tomorrow. I will probably not be trading tomorrow. If I do, it'll be late in the afternoon, so I may not trade at all tomorrow. So don't expect another update from me on the morning trade plan until Wednesday, July the 9th. So that'll be the game plan going forward over the next couple of days. So take care, trade well, get some green on the charts, and stay out of trouble. That's the goal, right? All right, thanks again. Appreciate you guys following along. Have a great trading day, maybe a couple of days here until my next update. So good luck out there. Take care, and until next time, so long.